வாங்க ஒரு சிம்பிளான விஷயத்தை பார்க்கலாம்.
Welcome to this explainer. Today we're diving into something that literally affects every single moment of your day. We're going to be looking at the absolute most important biological engine you possess, and that is your respiratory system. Think about it. Your body is basically a high-performance vehicle, and just like a car absolutely needs fuel and air to run its engine, you rely on the constant rhythmic intake of oxygen to literally power your life.
But here is a critical and maybe slightly alarming question you've got to ask yourself. Are you starving your body's engine? I know, it sounds a bit dramatic, right? But it's actually completely grounded in basic biology. See, every single cell in your body absolutely requires oxygen to create energy. So how you deliver that oxygen, meaning your everyday default breathing habits, well, that determines everything. It's the difference between feeling constantly tired and sluggish or energized and just fiercely focused. Without even realizing it, your default everyday breathing pattern might actually be the hidden reason you're always running on empty.
Now, really quick, before we unpack the mechanics of this engine, let's just touch on our source material. The insights we're exploring today come from Prasad. He's a certified spine alignment specialist holding a doctorate of bone alignment therapy from Stuttgart, Germany. But just a quick heads up, it's important to note he isn't a general medical doctor. This explainer is strictly for educational and informational purposes. So, you know the drill. Always make sure to consult a licensed local healthcare professional before changing up your health routines, altering your diet, or especially if you're trying to treat severe medical conditions like chronic sleep apnea. Okay, let's dive right into this. Part 1, the oxygen exchange. The basic sounds of the breath.
So, to master the engine, we first really need to understand exactly how the fuel gets processed. It all starts with something called the oxygen exchange. Basically, this is where you trade fresh oxygen for waste gas, carbon dioxide, deep inside your lungs. But here's the thing. The real key isn't just that your heart pumps this freshly oxygenated blood out to your brain and your muscles. No, it's all about the transactional efficiency of that exchange. That efficiency is exactly what keeps you running optimally. It literally dictates the quality of energy that's reaching all of your vital organs.
And this brings us to a super crucial point. It turns out there is a massive, stark biological difference between shallow breaths and deep belly breaths. When you take shallow, quick breaths, the air only reaches the upper part of your lungs. And guess what? There's significantly less blood flow up there. This results in a pretty poor oxygen exchange. Because of this lack of oxygen, your body actually starts to think it's slightly suffocating, and that triggers the release of stress hormones. Yeah, you're literally accidentally putting your own cells into a state of panic. But on the flip side, when you take nice, deep belly breaths, the air travels all the way down to the bottom of your lungs. This absolutely maximizes your oxygen absorption, and it instantly sends a biological signal to just calm your whole nervous system down.
Let's move on and see how this builds. Section 2. Masters of the breath, real-world breath control.
All right, so now that we know the basic mechanics, let's look at the elite performers out there. Across entirely different high-stress professions, we're talking athletes, singers, and the military, we see these completely unique manipulations of the breath for maximum output. For example, Olympic runners specifically train their diaphragms to pull in massive amounts of oxygen incredibly quickly. And their physiological goal here? They're actively delaying muscle fatigue by clearing out lactic acid way faster. Then, professional vocalists, well, they take a completely different approach. They learn to perfectly control the outward flow of air. They use their belly muscles to push air so smoothly right across their vocal cords, which allows them to hold those crazy high notes for long periods without gasping. And finally, Special Forces soldiers. They use breath control for sheer survival. Their primary goal is to actively force their heart rate to drop, which keeps their minds incredibly sharp during, well, extremely stressful situations. Now, you might be wondering, how exactly does the military achieve that rapid drop in heart rate? Well, it's actually through a technique known as box breathing. It's incredibly effective, and it's just a simple 4-part cycle. Step 1, you inhale deeply for 4 seconds. Step 2, you hold that breath in for 4 seconds. Step 3, you exhale slowly for 4 seconds. And finally, step 4, you hold your breath out for 4 seconds before starting the whole cycle over again. This rigid, deliberate control literally forces your nervous system to bypass stress entirely and return right back to a calm, focused baseline.
Okay, Section 3, test your Bolt score. Measure your breathing efficiency.
So we've seen how the elites do it, right? Now let's run a diagnostic on your own engine. We're going to look at your Bolt score. Bolt stands for Body Oxygen Level Test. Simply put, it's a measure of exactly how long you can comfortably hold your breath after a normal exhale before you feel the absolute first urge to breathe again. It's really just a highly practical, interactive way to measure exactly how efficiently your respiratory system is functioning right at this very moment. If you want to try testing yourself, here are the super clear rules for running this diagnostic safely. Step 1, just take a normal breath in through your nose and a normal breath out. Easy enough? Step 2, hold your breath and immediately start a timer. And step 3, stop that timer the very first moment you feel a distinct urge to swallow or take a breath. Now hang on, I do have to add a really crucial safety note straight from our source here. Please do not push yourself until you're turning blue. Seriously, this is not some test of sheer willpower. It's simply a test of when your body naturally signals that it needs air. All right, and this brilliantly illustrates what your time actually means. If your timer stopped at under 10 seconds, it means your breathing is highly inefficient right now. If you hit around 20 seconds, you're pretty much in the average range, but hey, there's definite room for improvement. Now, if you manage to reach that 30 to 40 second mark, that is excellent. It means your body handles oxygen incredibly efficiently, running much like those finely tuned elite engines we were just talking about earlier. Now, if your score wasn't quite where you wanted it to be, don't worry, because there's a very clear path forward. The absolute core takeaway from Prasad's insights is right here. You have the power to upgrade your engine. By consciously practicing deep diaphragmatic breathing, those deep belly breaths we talked about, every single day, you can actively improve your BOLT score. This deliberate daily practice is going to massively boost your energy reserves and significantly reduce your everyday stress levels. It's really a game changer.
Which leaves us with one final, really important question. How will you fuel your engine today? Are you going to continue letting those shallow, stressful breaths completely starve yourselves? Or are you going to take conscious control? Remember, every single breath you take is a brand new opportunity to optimize your body, clear your mind, and generate just incredible, endless energy. Ultimately, the choice of how you drive your own biological engine is entirely up to you.
இந்த வீடியோ உங்களுக்கு பிடிச்சிருந்ததுன்னா லைக் பண்ணுங்க, ஷேர் பண்ணுங்க, சப்ஸ்கிரைப் பண்ணுங்க. Thank you for watching.